Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Ako nga pala si Brian Anthony Garcia.
At ako naman si Michael John Peña. And this is the Battle of Clouds. For today, kasama natin si Paul Soliman. And hey Paul, kindly introduce yourself. Ano nga bang ginagawa mo? And most importantly, what are you passionate about?
Yeah. Thank you, Brian and Michael. Thank you for inviting me in your show. So I'm Paul Soliman. So technically, I'm running two startup companies here in the Philippines. So I have a company who does pure business applications, implementation supports, partners, and I have also my prop tech, which is of course a startup company also that focuses on product for property management and asset management. And since, of course, day one of my career, my passion is really business application. So it's really, if I can, say a brand here, it's really
Mhm.
Dynamics or something. It's ERP, it's CRM. So I really love, doing converting process or infusing process with technology to help these businesses to kill their of course to be the painkiller of their pain points or challenges.
Mhm.
Mhm. And you've also been really active in the community din, ano, Paul?
Yeah.
Because actually, met Paul within the community. So, it's really great to know someone na, alam mo yun, na talagang nagfo-focus sa ganitong capability or service. Anyway, for today, we're gonna talk about low-code and no-code applications. So, Paul, without bringing up any vendor names, ano nga ba tong low-code and no-code applications?
Yeah. Sure. So, well, for me, to describe low code and no code applications, I think we really need to go back on democratizing technology first, no? So before we can understand, the technical aspect or meaning mas malalim na aspect ng low code to no code, let's define first yung democratized technology, no? So what is a democratized technology? So for me, parang at the end of the day, of course, we know that meron tayong like emerging technologies or gumagana na like AI, IoT, VR, AR,
Mhm.
etc., big data, everything about technology. So those technologies na before, pag hindi ka developer or pag hindi ka like in the industry or something, sometimes you need to really have this experience of developing something, no, or becoming a data scientist, no, something like that.
Mhm.
um so a democratized technology is something like, let's say, I can create a chatbot without even learning how to code, or I can create a ML model, machine learning model, without even knowing Python or R. So those kind of technologies, when it became democratized, no. So technically doon na pumapasok yung low code to no code platform.
Mm. Kumbaga yung barrier of entry para ma-achieve yung usually business outcome na gusto nyo is nagiging mas madali, di ba? Instead na, yun nga, may mga gaps in terms of capabilities, mas mapapadali siya and mas nagiging business focused, di ba?
Yes. Oo. So to add to that, parang let's say syempre before, no, if kung kailangan talaga sa business ko yung let's say mobile application. So syempre everyone naman sa office hindi marunong mag-code eh. You need to go to your IT department, no? But the always the problem is yung IT department mo, or technically your development team. Sometimes naman they cannot create an application without a BA or business analyst. So if you're the business analyst and you know how to do power pivot, or I don't know, Google spreadsheets, no, or
Excel,
formula in the spreadsheet. So technically, because of this democratized technology, you can translate that same amount of effort, pero dun sa democratized technology, which is a low code to no code platform, you can already do the business logic at the same time, the logic in a way of so like a technical logic or UI UX already without really coding.
Okay. Yun nga. Although nabanggit mo na, di ba? I mean, yung advantages ng low-code, no-code sa other paradigms such as yung custom development nga with an IT team or development team. Other than that, ano pa yung tingin mong mga advantages ng ganitong approach?
Yeah. All right. Low code to no code kasi for me again, as I mentioned. So it creates kasi a new a new career, no? For example, if I may use that word. So we called it citizen developers, di ba? So we call them citizen developers nowadays. So the advantage kasi of having this platform in place in your organization or even in your career is again, number one, in terms of prototyping, no? You don't even need a developer to do prototype application. So syempre, I mean in the startup like where I am now. So ngayon ang hirap like you're gonna spend like hundreds of thousands for you to develop a prototype, 'di ba? In low code to no code, if you know of course if you're really into that, kung medyo magaling ka na in a way, that prototype can be done there. So technically you don't need to hire two developers, no? So if you're a business analyst, or we call that nga citizen developer nowadays, so you can already build your prototype, and then at the end of the day you ask your team to test it first before launching, something like that. So mas mabilis yung in a way testing on the market before you can really spend too much on developing a new idea and turning it to a mobile application.
Oh, actually ako agree din talaga ako doon. Especially, back in the days, siguro nung wala pa nitong low code, no code approach, siguro 'di ba puro tayo mga diagrams, mock-ups, 'di ba? Yung parang low fidelity kind of approach na this is how the app works, or this is how the system works. And I think yung na-empower nitong low code, no code is nagkaroon siya ng bridge na high fidelity na siya, meaning tangible na siya, interactable na siya. But at the same time, extensible pa din siya.
Yeah, tama. So kasi if we're into sometimes 'di ba parang hindi kasi yung like citizen developer or low code to no code approach medyo baka hindi extensive. Meaning at the end of the day baka limited yung features na magawa mo. Let's say for example, if you will compare that to a native Android application, so anong advantage ng low code to no code, no, in terms of building it in your mobile phone or building a mobile phone from the low code to no code? Actually it's easier because the application or the platform itself where you create your low code to no code app can also call native objects sa mga cellphone. So they they don't need to code for them to call like a camera, let's say a phone book or something. So mas nagiging advantageous siya, and yung pagiging extensive ng mobile application like in the native platform, kaya na din niyang gayahin without you putting more effort on building it.
Alright, so may question lang ako, and again, since nandito tayo sa the battle of clouds, definitely may reason kung bakit may natin pinag-uusapan tong low code and no code, So ano nga bang or how is it relevant to cloud? How is low code no code apps relevant to cloud?
Good question. I think without the cloud, whether it's private or public, or without that discovery, if I may use that word, so I think low code to no code platform will not be feasible, or hindi yan maiimbento, no? Because number one, for you to be able to like create a platform that does that, no? yung parang to equip to equip the non-developers or non-tech people. It's really the power of the machine, the servers, or even yung data na nagagather for you to be able to produce that kind of platform talaga that supports the user. Kasi at the end of the day, kung let's say walang public cloud, no, those three giants, I think the low code to no code platform will not be supported in a way that like the users can be supported in a way of scale. So technically, kung walang cloud, I think there's no also low code to no code platform.
So does that mean na exclusively done to with or through cloud itong low code and no code?
Not really, kasi I can
Not really.
build naman my own, language that does, 'di ba? That my own platform that does low code to no code platform. Pero matagal, 'di ba? But again, as I mentioned, like how do you like create a chatbot? For example, if you're not gonna connect to this big data like machines in on cloud, 'di ba? Or how do you build
Integrate
a
yung mga
complex
authentication, di ba? Yung mga connected services.
So
Yes.
without that, yeah.
And then, now we're talking about services and products. Ano nga ba yung mga products out there, Paul, na about low-code, no-code? Ano yung mga pwedeng gamitin ng mga tao in the market right now?
All right. So, of course, we have Power Platform, which is, of course, Microsoft. We have OutSystems as well. They're both low-code to no-code platform. Kasi when we say low-code to no-code, parang, okay, merong iba, it doesn't really mean na hindi ka na magko-code, ah. Kaya nga there is low code, no? There's still like, coding or formula, but it's not hardcore. We have products in the market like that. Like, again, as I mentioned, Power Platform is both low code and no code, because like when we say Power Automate, there are some actions and triggers there that you really need to do setting the dynamic content. You don't need to even code or put formulas or even JSON, no? Hindi mo na kailangan gawin. Meron naman as in you need to like combine it. Let's say I'm gonna use API, so I need to create HTTP trigger, something like that. That can be done also by the developers, no? So OutSystems in Microsoft Power Platform is, I think, the low code to no code platform that I can say it's more stable, no? We have also Smartsheet. Let's say Smartsheet, it's more of like a glorified Excel, but you can set up workflows, you can set up parameters without coding, you can set up forms, you can set up email automation as well, and notification. So those kind of application in the market, sometimes kasi kahit let's say for example, I can say that like Microsoft Teams as well is going there in the low code to no code with the project update. So hindi natin alam, the technology is transitioning to that kind of new breed application na yung extensibility niya, you don't need to rely on developers anymore.
Actually, agree ako dyan, di ba? Like, for example, sa mga, napansin ko din, like sa iOS, yung mga smart automations nila through yung iOS shortcuts, di ba? And yung mga widgets, in a way, di ba? Ang binibridge nila is yung mga automation talaga and connected services. And, parang, speaking of connected services, ano ba usually, let's say in a, like full-fledged app na low-code, no-code, ano ba yung usual na mga connected services?
Yeah, so mostly kasi like if you're into business applications implementation nga, well, number one is email pa rin, di ba? You can connect your low code to no code application to, let's say, to a email service, to an SMS gateway. We can also do federation services, which is like single sign-on or SSO. What else? Other APIs, like if you're connecting to big platform or yung mga malalaki, like I can say SAP, Oracle, So those kind of applications, syempre, in a way, you can't naman buy licenses from for your team kasi medyo mahal if we're talking about those big systems, no, or ERPs and CRM. So sometimes it's being democratized if they use connectors um, through their low code to no code platform. Then they create an application using that connectors. So the like for example, purchase requisition is being democratized now. They no longer using this ERP system for them to create this, let's say, purchase requisition application. They just use low code to no code apps.
Oo. At ano rin 'no, parang isang point din na gusto kong, i-point out about low code, no code, which I myself medyo na-impress talaga ako kasi, with the background of doing mobile development, yung idea ng low code, no code, having that sandbox environment na hindi mo unlike, doing it in Apple and Google, kailangan mo pang i-sign yung application, kailangan pang dumaan ng stores, kailangan pang na kailangan tama yung provisioning profiles and all. I think that's something really powerful na naggagawa nitong low code, no code na hindi nyo na kailangan mag-MDM solutions like Intunes. Di ba? Madali yung distribution niya through, a federated system.
Yeah, I think dun sa yung sa the platform itself, no, parang yes, it's super easy kasi if let's say Power Platform is really connected to your AD, di ba? To Active Directory.
Mm-mm.
So technically all of your users can really use your app by just sharing it, no? By just allowing them to use the app. Natapos yung user mo, it's included already in your Active Directory, nandun na sila. So you don't need to set those things up. However, ang ano ko lang, like siguro this is something that this industry needs to improve because currently yung platform itself is it's not ready to do consumer facing application. Because number one, of course, for you to be able to use the low code to no code platform, in a way, you need to use their framework for them to be able to use your application, di ba? So meaning may third layer, hindi lang siya OS driven like iOS and Play Store tapos parang nagiging native na siya doon, then pwede mo na siyang gamitin, no? So hindi pa sila ganun ngayon. So you need to download a third party application for you to be able to use it. So kaya yung medyo yung consumer market support, hindi pa ganun ka-clear.
Actually, ano naman tayo? Let's go to the challenges naman because I know a lot of people have at least seen or experienced low code and no code. Pero not everyone is sold with this type of development, especially yung mga Rockstar developers, ano. Na parang gusto talaga na talagang hardcore development, mga talagang mabigat na mga coding. So why do you think that it is something na nafi-feel ng mga developers na to? And why do you think na low code, no code is something that you should or developers should try out maybe now or maybe in the future?
Yeah. Actually, if I'm gonna like let's say I don't want to separate the pro coders but we have citizen developers tapos we have pro developers. Usually ano na yan, 'di ba? When you go to Twitter, nandiyan na yung mga pro code, low code unite, pro code, no code yun. Even me, I think naglagay din ako noon before since I'm so in love with being, doing citizen development. So, for me it's two different it's two different roles, no? If we're trying to create a solution or like an innovation that's really gonna be impactful to the future generation, those two kind of developers, if I may use that, need to have this some sort of like collaboration. To give you an example, let's say for example, a citizen developer will do the UI UX, the interface and the functionality. Then the pro coders will really solve the complex logic or computing, let's say quantum or creating, an AI model or an
Mhm.
a machine learning model, or even like, for example, APIs, no? Very simple um, scenario that developers can create an API that can transform a complex logic to a more naiintindihan ng mga citizen developers when they use it. Let's say calculation of big data. So syempre pag citizen developer, di naman nila like alam yon, or mahihirapan sila to adjust, no? So in a way, if the pro developers will focus on that, I think mas ma-accelerate yung innovation in an organization, because they're really collaborating with each other, and mas bumibilis yung development, no, on the user side and also on the um on the management side.
Mhm.
Mm. And I actually
And
agree kasi
Oo.
I've been a developer, I've been a developer for like ever since I was in college. But I already have tried out Power Apps. So let's just say yun yung na-try ko before. And even Windows App Studio. So
Mm.
I wasn't really a fan of it back then, pero I finally gone to a parang conclusion na okay, so may different responsibilities pa rin talaga. Hindi mo masasabi na as a developer, as a Rockstar developer, na ito yung magiging responsibility mo is just to develop the low code no code application, as in all. But anyway, that's just something that I really want to mention then.
At saka i-add ko lang dun sa yung kanina analogy ng Rockstar Developer, 'di ba? Parang ang something to consider din dun is yung maintenance ng application, 'di ba? Hindi naman yan parang fire and forget, 'di ba? So, let's say yung Rockstar Developer nga gumawa ng app, then does that mean na nagkaroon ng problem dito sa isang module na to or sa feature na to, 'di ba? Ibig sabihin, siya pa din yung point of responsibility on how to fix it, and like dito sa approach na to, since everyone understands or mas naging madali siya to fix problems. I think that's also one good advantage, yung maintenance aspect nito, di ba?
Mhm.
Paul?
Yeah. In terms of yun nga, complex let's say calculation or logic that the citizen developers can't do, it needs to be pro developers or rockstar developers pa rin. Even if I can say, yeah, maintenance is also included, no? I think sobrang lawak talaga ng roles in tech. So hindi lang din umiikot yun sa dalawa, kasi meron din naman tayong mga infra guy, 'di ba? Like they need
Mhm.
to maintain those things, security, we have experts in security. Blockchain, bro, I think that's your thing, 'di ba? So meron pa maraming like aspect, no, ng pwedeng ikutan in terms of accelerating this world that we are in. Parang in a way, if we want to go to really singularity or AI era, so those kind of roles in our organization, or even enthusiasts, they need to really help each other. So I think walang nadi-dissolve na like a rockstar developer, if the question is baka mawala na ng trabaho yung mga rockstar developer kasi nandito na yung low code to no. I think that's not true.
And I think
It's
'di ba, sorry, add ko lang din, 'di ba? Parang I think it's similar paradigm na nangyari nung inintroduce yung DevOps, 'di ba? Na parang yung part ng responsibility ng ops na punta sa dev, then yung part ng ops kailangan na rin nila mag-dev, 'di ba? So parang nagkakaroon ng diversity of thought na I think at the end of the day, 'di ba? Ang focus pa rin is paano nyo nga ba ma-achieve yung business outcome na gusto nyo in the most efficient way possible, whether that's through less budget or less human resource or kung ano man, 'di ba? So, yeah, I think again, diversity of thought is key.
Yep. Mhm.
yeah.
And I think to add up on that, kasi I actually had the experience na we had in our company, we had this capability. We had the low code, no code development capability. And some of our developers medyo parang natatakot sila na baka ilagay ako dito sa role na to. And of course, in their mind, low code, no code is definitely, yun nga, hindi sila gana magko-code. Pero what they really want to do kasi is these guys are really they started as a developer talaga, back-end developers, front-end developers, talagang puro sila code. And when they heard about this, and medyo natakot sila na baka ilagay ako sa role na to, na baka hindi na ako magko-code, hindi na ako magiging developer at all. So ayun, anyway, just to since pinag-usapan na rin natin yung about sa company namin, we had this low code, no code service offering kasi to our clients. But long story short, it wasn't really successful. Pero ayun, I've seen the challenges, pero I'm not sure if I had the full vision sa nangyari talaga. Siguro I would like to ask you, Paul, ano ba talaga usually ang mga challenges for these companies, na baka ma-encounter nila when they have this kind of offering or capability?
Yeah. Good question, Brian. Actually, siguro ito yung parang what not to do or what not to create in a low code and to low code to no code environment versus anong projects yung kailangan mong gawin or mas maganda yung low code to no code yung gamitin. For me, I can frame that way. Kasi it's not always applicable. You're right. The problem kasi, if we're trying to create a product that has really this, di ba tawag natin scope creep or whatever, or medyo complex that talagang yung mga logic niya is super complex in a way na kailangan mo talagang gumamit ng ng super complex na programming language, or if I may use that word in layman, or framework na hindi mo talaga kayang gawin sa low code to no code, no? Ang example diyan, let's say for example, business application. So if you have an ERP or CRM, then you're trying to create, let's say, you're trying to extend your CRM. Let's say your sales people, they need a mobile app na wala yung standard CRM, but you want to extend that mobile app na magkaroon ng different features that your sales people can use already in 1 week, no? And of course, you don't have time. You have developers but too busy. So the sales manager itself, or I can say business process owner, can start doing a project using low code to no code platform. Then ask support from the dev if they need to connect to an API that really call a complex logic. What not to, parang ano ba dapat yung hindi mo gamitan ng low code to no code platform? Again, as I mentioned, from scratch development na sa tingin mo super complex ng features and you want to go to the public, meaning you go to consumer, then don't use low code to no code platform. And then kailan mo naman siya kailangan gamitin? If you're trying to extend a particular business application na may logic na, then ini-extend mo lang siya into something that you can manage, and then ang gumagawa is yung business process owners, then use that. But it doesn't limit naman yung low code to no code platform to create a from scratch application. Yun nga lang, again, as I mentioned, if it's too complex for the business process owner to do it, then I think mas tatagal pa yan kesa pagawa mo na lang sa developer mo to create it from scratch.
Mm-hmm. And I think siguro magandang based sa experience ko, I think it also comes with the product itself, diba? Parang one thing na napansin ko rin sa industry na to is sometimes we overlook into a product or a platform na pinipilit natin silang gawin yung bagay na it's not really meant to be. Like one example I had back in the days was SharePoint. Sobrang pinipilit namin siya i-extend on different capabilities na sobrang beyond na talaga sa capability na SharePoint. And I think that's also true for other, CRMs, SAPs and stuff. I guess the key takeaway din talaga doon is, again, ang pinaka-importante is wala naman talagang winner in terms of no-code ba or dapat pro dev or diba? Parang I think it's still a matter of trying to solve specific problems, trying to maximize value, and ano nga ba yung capability ng team, diba?
Mhm. And in the solutioning perspective, if I may add also, if you're really doing an empathic listening tapos you don't over-engineer, I think dun pa lang sa like solutioning perspective, you will know already if I can use low-code to no-code platform versus I can just ask my developer to do it from scratch. So, hindi naman ibig sabihin na laging mabilis yung low-code to no-code platform. It still depends on the problem and pain points that you're trying to solve. In fact, with cross-platform nga, 'di ba, Brian, like your expertise. In fact, may pagkarerahin mo yung dalawa, sometimes on a specific solution, I think mas mananalo yung cross-platform versus low-code to no-code. Kung parehas gumagana, 'di ba? So may mga ganun may mga ganung aspect ng like scenario or solutions na mas mabilis pa rin siyang kini-create sa cross-platform versus sa low-code to no-code.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And I think for me, ang ano ko dito, takeaway ko dito is that yung usage talaga ng low-code, no-code technology, it's rapidly increasing. And that's the reason why I think in our company, pinick up din namin yung capability na yun. Though, again, maybe wrong timing lang din since may pandemic ngayon, so it wasn't really successful. Pero definitely, maraming nagpipick up na itong capability na to. And I think when it comes to the developers, for both experienced developers and citizen developers nga, I think nakaka-benefit naman talaga itong low-code, no-code development process na to. As long as it is properly set up, as long as lahat ng tamang ng approach susundin lang. I mean, I don't see any again, no winners for both naman. And yeah, I think in next few years mas maging prevalent pa tong development approach na to in the business process.
Yeah. If I will think more futuristic. Actually, etong low-code to no-code platform is really like it's really like the accelerator of the future technology. Since imagine human machine symbiosis, like our heroes, our idols in the tech industry was trying to do, since internet parang internet yung kino-conceptualize pa lang yung internet, they're already seeing this. And that human and machine symbiosis can be accelerated by low-code to no-code platform, because right now if it will continuously to be democratized, not only on the businesses but also for the consumer market. Imagine a housewife can pwedeng gumawa ng application, since hindi naman nag-aral ng programming yan or ng CS, can create an application, let's say to check if the baby's emotion, pag pinicturean niya, madidetect ng AI kung I don't know, kung basa ba yung diapers or whatever. For that housewife or for that mother to detect or to para ma-help siya in terms of taking care of her children, 'di ba? Parang ganon eh. So I think low-code to no-code is accelerating the digital world.
Mm-hmm. Actually, medyo na medyo na-overwhelmed din ako dun sa example na yun. Kasi, parang karoon ng light bulb moment sa akin na actually, oo nga naman, parang, obviously, in order to progress itong industry and, humanity as a whole, kailangan mas maging inclusive tayo, di ba? Na parang hindi lang dapat puro developers lang, hindi lang puro IT pros, 'di ba? Parang kailangan mas maging inclusive tayo. And eventually, technology is for everyone.
And I think just to wrap things up, I think all I can say is that low code and no code technology again have become a hot topic na rin dito sa business world, and of course for a good reason. And again, andito si Paul para explain yon, and I think he has done it really well. And we would like to thank you, Paul, for joining us in our podcast. So yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think that's all. Mhm.
So,
Paul, you
so
have
Paul,
anything else? Mhm.
paano nila makakontak ikaw? Anong socials or where to find you?
Oh yeah. All right. So I'm active on LinkedIn. So so they can just search. Actually, they can just Google me. So Paul Soliman, ako lang naman lumalabas doon. Then they can see my LinkedIn profile. So I have also Twitter, Hey Paul Roots. So just search it there. And I'm also active in the because I'm an MVP, no?
And
So so nakalimutan ko sabihin. So I'm a Microsoft MVP for business applications here in the Philippines. So I'm active in the BizOps PH community that I was na found ko last year. So we're very active on promoting citizen developers um, and business applications as well. I've got a lot of articles sa LinkedIn regarding citizen developers and low code to no code platform. You can just visit my profile and makikita nyo yung mga article ko doon. Alright.
All right.
and yeah, I think that's it for now. Maybe in the future we can invite you again, Paul, and you might be able to talk about the specific platform that you're using, diba?
Mm-mm.
This
Yeah,
is,
sure. Sana
Alright.
maging regular na ako dito sa podcast na.
Oh,
Really hope-
pwede.
really hope so.
Sarap ng usap, masarap mag-usap about sa industry. Yeah.
Maganda nga yung ganito rin, di ba? Yung casual lang, na hindi yung parang webinar type na na alam mo yun, na puro information overload. So, yun din naman yung goal namin dito eh.
Correct. Hindi yung parang ginagawa natin, 'di ba? Sa MVP natin. Hindi yung parang ginagawa mo sa community that has agenda or something. This podcast is good actually, guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you
All
as
right.
well.
Okay.
All right. I think that's all. All right. Thank you
Okay.
guys for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.